Hi, my name is Jim Balla. Today we're going to be installing a TGS07 from Byers, SaltDogg. So before we get started, there's some tools we're going to need. We have a 3/4 open-end wrench, also a 9/16, 3/4 socket, and of course a 9/16 socket too. We also, if I can read this right, 13 mil, and we have a 10 millimeter, and we have an 11 millimeter socket you're going to need for some electrical work. Also, of course, a pair of pliers, some snips for some black ties that we have, because we've got to run that harness all the way back to the spreader. It's always nice to have a drill gun, and of course, flashlight, instructions, best friend, right here, little anti-seize lube for everything. It's stainless on the spreader, nuts and bolts, and that's why we need it. And use it wisely. A lot of it. Again, best friend. So let's get going. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check out what's inside the box and go from there. So in this box, what we have is all the components. So the first thing I see here, we got our spinner. Got our shield, our stainless steel shield. We got our hardware bag, and this of course comes with a controller, the harnesses, and everything you need, and especially the instruction sheet. We have the spinner guard, which is the only orange thing in the box, so you can't miss that one. Then we have, there's a lid in here, and then we have our mounting in here. So really the easiest way to get this stuff out of here is just, I'm just going to cut the box. And then you can see what else we got. There's also a top screen that's in it. Put this over here for now. And voila. So here's our lid, which we won't be needing for a little bit. And then we have our mounting and of course our hopper. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take it out of the box, get it ready to get it on the truck. So let's get that going. Now that we have all the items out of the box and all the tools we need, we got a truck ready to go. Let's start assembling it. The first thing you want to do is check your tailgate. On this model, you can see the tailgate kind of has a flared top to it. So we'd have to get an accessory to extend out the bumper. Now in this truck, it'll be part number 3038520. And that's just a TGS07 bumper extension. This is kind of what it looks like. And it'll be placed here later on in the steps in the instructions. So, but right now what we're going to do, we'll put this back here for a little bit. And we're going to go into the directions, and the first step is slide frame into hitch receiver. So we're going to grab the frame, we're going to get into the hitch receiver. Quick tip, let's put the pin in to make sure the frame is stable at this point. Knowing that the tailgate has the flare on it, we're going to put the bumper extension on right now. Now in the directions it says it doesn't have this on there, but this is the next point where we're going to put it on. Then we're going to put the hopper on. The hopper does weigh a lot, so you make sure you have 2 people to help you with this, or a crane or something that is going to aid in installing the hopper. So what you want to do is get your 1/2-inch bolt with the washer. You want to lift it up a little bit. Get a bolt on the passenger side and get one on the driver's side, just so for safety. Also, before you put any nuts on, make sure you put anti-seize on all stainless nuts and bolts. All right, now the next step will be take our bumper extension, slide it back, lift it up, then line it up with the holes. You will need 2 people for that. Of course, you can't see him on the other side, but he's there. So next step now, we're gonna go get the 6-inch, 1/2-inch bolts, and we're gonna line them up all through these 3 holes and snug it up a little bit. We're gonna put some anti-seize on. Get it on there. And then, of course, make sure it's lined up. Okay. So what we wanna do is start it. I'm gonna put the 1 nut on top. Before you get to the next hole, you want to take the flared nut and put it the opposite way. Once you get the longer bolt fed through, again, make sure you have anti-seize on the threads. The more the merrier. Get that 1/2-inch nut started, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it down. We're going to lock down these other nuts that are here, and then we'll go to the other side. Quick hint, make sure it's just level. Make sure, you know, stand back, just make sure everything's level, and we'll tighten up the mounting bolts. The next step is put the deflector on. What I already pre-did is took the 3/8 bolts, pre-anti-seized them, and what they're going to go to is there's a slot here in the trough, and then we're going to take the shield and we're going to put it on, and then we're going to put another washer and then a nylock nut on there. So I'm going to line these up and get it started. Again, there's a slot in it that you can adjust back and forth. So once you want to know your pattern, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it right in the middle and then see my pattern and then maybe adjust it back or forward if I want a larger pattern. Of course, you want it closer to the truck so it makes it wider. And then a shorter pattern, you want it closer to the spinner so to cut down on the spread. So after we tighten these up, our next step, I think we'll put the spinner on. So now it's time we put the spinner on. So you'll have a pin, and then a cotter pin, and then we'll just twist the cotter pin. So really on this step, really the only thing you need is a pair of pliers to bend that cotter pin. Make sure the fins are up, because this side, you're not spreading no salt, so make sure you have it fins up. And then locate the hole in the shaft of the spinner. There it goes. We kind of lucked out, and then just get that cotter pin in right in there. And then just twist it. Next thing we're going to do is put the shield on, the spinner guard, which is that orange part we showed you at the beginning of the video. To get the spinner guard on, what we do is take the bolts. I lube them up with anti-seize. So we're going to feed these through the holes. And of course, you want to put your flat washer and nut on the bottom. Now we're going to tighten up the bolts and nuts, and then we'll get the screen on and the lid on, and then go and start wiring the truck up. What I'm going to do is take the screen, and we're going to put it in the hopper. Then we're going to put the lid on. It can go either way. Both have this nub sticking out. What you want to do is put it in one way. You see now I'm just going to bend these away, put it on, and then I'm going to put a little clip right in here. And we're going to do that same thing to the back side. So you have a choice. When you put salt in it, you could actually lift it up like this way, or disconnect this and lift it up this way if you have more bulk salt put in. So now, let's start wiring the truck.